That's right, boys and girls. The Brothers Hack the Matrix will not be seen tonight because the backup hackers are here. Prepare yourself for the backup hackers tonight on Joe's Atmosphere. All right, boys and girls, welcome to this edition of the Backup Hackers. Why do we call that? Well, the brother cannot hack the Matrix with me tonight, so I had to call the best backup quarterback in the league to step in for him. What's going on, man? How you doing, Matt?
Not much. Glad to be here. I wore my green shirt since I'm just a bunch of green ones and zeros
That's right.
tonight.
A bunch of green ones and zeros and Japanese characters. I think those are Japanese. I'm not sure. I really don't know. I mean, I'm a big fan of the Matrix movies, but I didn't get that deep off into it. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, I appreciate you coming in. I wanted to do. My brother is in the middle of the silly season. He works for a water bottling company, and this is, I mean, he can stay late to work. Plus, he just came back from a vacation in Vegas, and he was stuck in the airport for a while waiting. His flight got canceled,
Yep.
and he had to get another one. He didn't get into Dallas last night till 1:30, and he gets up to go to work at 3.
Yep.
So he was operating on about an hour and a half sleep today. So I kind of thought this was going to happen. Remember, I discussed this with you last night, and so
I
go
don't
ahead.
remember who posted it, but I did see on Twitter last night that in Las Vegas they have the world's largest LED screen, and it was like this huge. It looked like an actual like globe of light, and it was showing all sorts of different patterns and all sorts of different images and stuff, and it was wild. But
Really?
yeah.
Was it outdoor?
It was outdoors. It was near a casino.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't tell just from I can only see the corner of the casino, so I couldn't tell exactly where it was. But it was down there, in the strip area. But um, it was wild looking. It may have been Nina Infinity posting it,
Mm-hmm.
um, but retweeting it from someone else. But it was
Pretty
looked like
big,
something out of a movie, basically.
really.
Yeah.
So it's bigger than the one that's hanging up in Dallas.
It's some sort of it's a different. It's almost like it's 3D in a way. It's
Really?
strange. Yeah,
Hmm.
like you couldn't even
And
see
this
a
is an LED
screen.
screen that looks 3D. Wow.
Yeah.
Hmm. Oh man. Ariel Ballet is the second person in here. You might think you're the first person, but you're not. She says, "Hello, Daddy Coffee Joe and small time rebel scum." I love it.
Nice.
She is a lot of fun, man. Das Wolfen was the first one in, and he he put this in exactly 69 minutes before we went on air. I had to laugh at him when he did it. But yeah, man, I appreciate you coming and helping me out tonight, man. Because I really do like to get into the headlines every week and do a political show. Um, you know, uh, we tend to stay away from the political stuff on State of the Atmosphere. I like to do the fun stuff over there, but we've got plenty of stuff from the headlines to look at tonight. And this will not be like me and my brother's show. My brother and I have a very regimented format where he likes to hit topics really fast and stuff. You know him. If we're not talking like it's Dragnet, not taking a breath, he's like dead air, right? So,
No pausing.
but
I
but
I,
we're
uh,
gonna.
and I and I put a little. We can look at it later if you want to, but I put a little article in the private chat about the Las Vegas sphere. But
Okay.
when you
Well,
talked
we
about your
can look
brother
at it
being
right
in
now,
Las
man.
Vegas, it made me
Yeah,
think
this is
about it.
this is not as regimented as the other show. We can
I
talk
got you.
about whatever we want to. Let me get this over here on the screen I am sharing with though. Because what I do is I run the StreamYard app over here on my Google Chrome because that's what it's made for. I get the best results for it, but everything else, I try and, as far as I'm concerned, Google is the evil empire, so I try and stay away from their stuff as much as possible. But it does work good for StreamYard. So, let's see what we got. This dome, my God, it does look like a globe. What
Yeah.
the fuck? Wow.
It's like something out of a movie, like Blade Runner or name your movie. The movie
Las
Sphere.
Vegas just unveiled its new 2.3 billion dollar spherical entertainment venue.
Yeah.
What in the hell?
I'm surprised we haven't heard about this prior to it being debuted.
Wow.
Unless they were trying to keep it under wraps.
I'm trying to see if there's anything to give a concept. Those are cars right there. Good Lord.
Yeah.
This thing is huge. Look, guys, down the left-hand side of that picture, those are cars. What the? Wow. Las Vegas has unveiled Sphere, a $2.3 billion. Dude, it's. I've never been one to think we're in end times, but man, it sure seems like Sodom and Gomorrah, doesn't it? I mean,
Well, it'll all be okay until it starts giving us instructions.
right? What is it? Das Wolfen says, was it crack cocaine? If it was, then it was Hunter. Ariel says it's just a snow globe.
Oh, it can project any image. Yeah.
Wookie Be Bad says, hail all. Good to see you, man. And let's see, Ariel. Maybe they were able to keep it a complete secret. I don't know how.
I don't know.
Or told people that it was something else.
It must have been something that they could have constructed very quickly.
I don't know, but it says entertainment venue that has a giant LED screen that displays a range of animations such as the moon and planets, fireworks, and eyeballs. Oh, God, I don't want to see an eyeball that big.
I just imagine your brother walking on the strip and going, "What in the hell?
What in the hell?"
Yeah.
Right? I don't know if he saw it or not. I guarantee you he's in bed. He's not even watching this, but I'll have to ask him for next week. We'll have to make a reference to it. Construction began in 2018. It took them 5 years to build this thing, and it fully lit up on July 4th with a fireworks show. Sphere is said to be the largest LED screen on Earth at about 580,000 square feet and has about 1.2 million puck lights.
And I'm not familiar with that term, puck light.
I'm not either. Yeah. It's probably the individual lights. The light LED stands for light emitting diode. I can tell you that. I was an instrumentation guy, so I know that.
Well, and sometimes you'll see those LED lights that are in a cluster about the size of a puck.
Right.
So if it's 1.2 million
of those,
then that's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous. That is crazy. Each light has, okay, there it is, 48 diodes. There it is. Each puck has 48 diodes. Do the math. A type of semiconductor device, each of which can display up to 256 million colors, according to Sphere Entertainment. The exosphere is more than a screen or a billboard. It is living architecture. Don't say living. It's not living. Yeah. Come on now. It's not a living thing. Stop that.
Scary.
Yeah. And unlike anything that exists anywhere in the world, said Guy Barnett, head of Skynet. No, I'm just kidding. Sphere Entertainment's
Overlord Guy Barnett. Yeah.
Right. Sphere Entertainment's senior vice president of brand strategy and creative development. And additionally, the company says it's the world's largest spherical structure at 516 feet wide, 366 feet tall. Damn, it must be oblong. It's got to be. I mean, that's not the proportions for something that's perfect sphere.
That's
Yeah,
that's bizarre
it's a
stuff there.
little off.
Yeah.
It seats 17,600 people with a 20,000 person standing capacity. Oh, okay. So this is a venue for doing light shows. Like when I was a kid, we used to go to the Shreveport Planetarium, the Spar
Right.
Planetarium,
So it's like the ultimate
Shreveport
IMAX.
Parks and Recreation, right?
Yeah.
And they used to play Pink Floyd's The Wall down there and do this crazy ass light show and
Yeah.
stuff when we were kids. And that must be what this is. So it's kind of like the next step past an IMAX theater, right?
Right. I remember going to
Something
a
that's
planetarium. Yeah, as a kid, I went to a planetarium one time and I had to like lean all the way back.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
you're basically
Yeah,
looking up. Yeah,
right. Because the whole thing it's being shown over your head and everything.
yeah.
So yeah, that's wow. So far, reactions to the sphere have been mixed.
Yep.
Hang on, let's keep going here, man. About to get interesting. Mixed, huh? Uh, what's wild is the most that most communities in this country would be okay with a giant LED sphere before they'd allow an elevated train line or in their neighborhood. Wrote Hayden Clarkin, who tweets about transit issues. Hayden Clarkin says, "Yeah, just what he just wrote, what I just read."
Huh. His handle is the transit guy. This guy is all about he's all about trains.
Yeah, obviously,
But wow, that's crazy.
that is crazy right there. Look at that. That is nuts, man.
Yeah.
That is really crazy. Yeah, we can build all kinds of stuff, guys. All kinds of stuff. What in the hell? Wow. What? The the Madison Square Garden Sphere is officially the coolest building in the US. Madison Square Garden Sphere.
Well, and even though
Madison Square Garden Sphere is officially the coolest.
but it is in Las Vegas, not to be confused by
Okay, so
yeah.
it's a Madison Square Garden thing in
Uh, apparently they have some sort of involvement, either that or it's a totally different MSG. But
mhm.
I would think it's the same. You know, I would think it's the same Madison Square Garden group. I would assume.
This $2 billion one of a kind sphere can dazzle even the pessimist. Wow, this is something. And this is from Chris Matthew. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Matthews?
I think so.
Whatever. A local TV sports director. Oh well, he's in the know. He's a sports guy. Look at that.
Yeah.
This has music going, by the way. I know you can't hear it, but you don't really need to hear it. It's crazy. Look at that. Now people are sitting inside this thing. Is that what I'm understanding?
That's what I gathered from it. Um, I would think it would give you a headache sitting inside that thing, but maybe not. Maybe it's like an IMAX in that regard. Yeah.
I can't even hear you, so let me mute that. My gosh, let me go ahead and blow that up so you can see what's up here. All it is a high energy orchestral music.
Yep. I would
So
like to see the power bill for that, and I know LED takes up less power than
come on,
a
man.
two projection,
Are
but
you kidding me?
still, yeah.
That's wow. That is crazy.
Yep. And seeing that, they are having the summer league in Las Vegas right now. The NBA is,
Mm-hmm.
so I could see it makes sense they'd want to promote that.
Right. But people have to be sitting inside this thing
Yeah,
and seeing
they
the
must
same
be
thing.
because there's a highway right next to it or a
Yeah.
road. So yeah,
Well, here's my question. Is that well, no, it's not glass, I guess. Well, it's got to be something transparent. This is just wow.
now my only question would be, since it looks like there is some sort of road right there,
Mm-hmm.
would that present a driving hazard?
Right?
Either that or it's looks
Yeah.
like the
How do
road,
the
but it's
cops
actually
feel
not.
about this thing? Sphere will open for its first show in September with rock band U2 taking the stage. Are you kidding me? Oh, wow. That is very cool, man.
Yep.
NPR put this out. Dude, that is crazy.
Yep.
$2.3 billion to build that thing. Madison Square Garden. I had no idea they had stuff in Vegas.
I had no idea that they had any involvement anywhere outside of New York.
Yeah.
I've never looked into it much. I do that this current Madison Square Garden that's I think over 50 years old.
Mm-hmm.
It's like maybe the fourth or fifth iteration of the Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
It goes back to like the early 1900s.
Oh,
the
yeah.
whole, and it's been located in different parts of New York.
Yeah.
So that there's some history there as well.
Yeah, there is big time. But wow, man, that's amazing. I'm just like I'm dumbfounded. I'm like, wow, that's just, dude. And the fact that they'd have, I mean, are they going to make their money back on this thing, or is it? Does that even enter into their thinking?
Yeah,
spending that much money.
Long term, they must think that they can make money back.
Yeah,
but it's basically like, it's a matter of keeping up with the Joneses at this point. If you're in Las Vegas,
good
you're
Lord,
constantly
man.
having to top your competition.
Right. And the competition, by the way, we're talking about competition worldwide, guys, because like I've seen some of the buildings they've put in Qatar. They're fucking huge, man. I think the largest skyscraper in the world, the tallest one, is in Qatar now, isn't it? I think.
I believe so. Yep.
But
either Qatar or Dubai, one or the other.
Yeah, it could be Dubai. Could be Dubai. But
both those countries have a lot of money.
A lot of money. That's what I'm saying. Whoever did this has got to have a lot of disposable cash, and they did it. It took them 5 years to build. That's amazing. I am flabbergasted. That's amazing. Let's see. Ariel says give it a couple of months before it has to go down for repairs. No kidding. Great. It's a giant light bulb. Light bright. Yeah. Light bright. To give it another size perspective, it's about 3 times bigger than Disney World's Epcot Sphere. Really? Okay. It could almost I could almost see it causing people to have seizures. Well, I don't know about that.
They've probably done a lot of testing.
Yeah, I'm sure they've tested a lot of that stuff. Well, how many of the hotel casinos put money into it? Sounds like Madison Square Garden did it. Think it's Dubai, because that area is is also building a bunch of huge stuff. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy what they'll spend money on for these tourist places. But yeah, that's interesting, man. Thanks for giving me that. That's pretty damn cool stuff, man.
No problem.
But there's other things in the pop culture sphere, guys. We got this new. Matt sent me this last night, and I did not know anything about it, and it's been all over the news today. Let me get this up here. Welcome to Threads, Facebook's Twitter killer. Now, this thing here, if you don't know, and I signed. Have you set up your account on it yet?
I have not. I was going to potentially do that either today or tomorrow.
It's if you're on Instagram, it takes that long. All you have to do is just download the app, and it asks you, do you want to sign in with Instagram?
Which I'm sure is by design.
By design. First of all, they won't have the problem with populating the server, because the next thing they ask you is, do you want to follow everybody you follow on Instagram? And they have a button on the bottom where it says follow all, and boom, it's done. So the server's populated, right? Hang on one second. What do we got here? Das Wolfen says Dubai has the oil money. They can build pretty much everything. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And
it's like with the Saudis, when the PGA was going to go up against the Saudis, and the Saudis were like, "Oh, really? You want to talk about live golf some more? Yeah,
right.
We'll buy everything."
Right. They do buy everything. These guys are going crazy in the chat, man. I can also see Joe's brother taking a hammer to that sphere because it's keeping him up. Yeah, I can see my brother doing that too. Hey, what's up, Christopher Holly? It's good to see you, man. Good to see you. Let's see. Das Wolfen says Threads is already banning conservatives and others they don't agree with. Yeah, we're going to get into that. I'm going to go ahead and read this article real quick, and we're going to get into that. I don't know if you saw Jeremy the Quarterings video on it today, but yeah, it's
Yep. Now, has Jeremy made 7 or 8 videos on it today? Just,
yeah, right. I only saw one.
Right.
So, but to be clear, I only saw one. But
He's a machine.
Yeah, he is a machine. I love him. Look, I get a lot of stories for our show on Thursday nights. This one from Jeremy. I watch him daily, and if I see something interesting, I grab it. But this is Threads. This is pretty much a review of it. So I probably won't read the whole thing, but I'm going to give you an overview of it. Meta, the parent company of Facebook, has launched Threads on iOS App Store this afternoon, at least in Canada. Well, it was up yesterday all over the place. Even a leaked bare bones version this morning. When was this written? This was written when?
This is from
yesterday,
from
about
yesterday,
2:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And notice the update there at the top.
Yeah, absolutely. So the service is now rolling out publicly to people in more than 100 countries. That lets us take an advanced look at the company's answer to Elon Musk's Twitter. Meta's pitch for the new social network, say more with Threads. That's what they're saying. And this is I always go dark mode, but this is what it looks like. And as you can see, it looks a lot like Instagram.
Yeah, it's got that Instagram
on Twitter. I mean, it looks like a Twitter version of Instagram because it's got that arrow for sending, but it does have a retweet type thing here. I think it's called recycle or something like that.
Yeah, it's like an Instagram user interface.
Yeah,
that's a Twitter rival.
Right. From the company's app store description, Threads is where communities come together to discuss everything from the topics you are about today to what'll be trending tomorrow, which is kind of funny because they don't have a trending thing on there yet, anything like that.
It'll come.
They don't have, they'll have it eventually, but it's pretty bare bones right now. Whatever it is you're interested in, you can follow and connect directly with your favorite creators and others who love the same things, or build a loyal following of your own to share your ideas, opinions, and creativity with the world. Well, what they're not saying is that you're also going to get Zuckerberg's special brand of censorship also.
Yep.
Because we all know that guy loves to censor people. So you're definitely going to get that. I can't remember if this article brings it up, but
all under the guise of safety and misinformation.
Oh yeah, and I tell you what, we may, as soon as I'm done with this paragraph, we may skip down to some of the stuff you got to, of course, edit. It's no different from any of the other platforms. Let me be clear: you give up a lot of data to be on this platform. Interestingly, Meta went with Instagram as a base social network for Threads versus Facebook. It's well, that's by design. They want younger people. It's not a great option for me personally. I barely use Instagram. This is the guy that's writing the article. But Instagram is a much more youth-focused, hip, and growing property in the Meta portfolio. Earlier adopters will be able to keep their Instagram username and auto follow the same people they follow on Instagram, solving the cold start problem that every new social media platform suffers from at launch. Yeah, I've been getting, when I used it earlier today just to feel it out, I was seeing stuff from everybody I follow on Instagram.
Right.
So yeah,
that at least gives it a great head start in comparison to these like it talked about with Cold Start, with these startup companies that are not connected to any other
Yeah.
social media platform.
Yeah.
And also, some of these social media platforms, they have the deck stacked against them. I may have brought it up a week or two ago, but like Parler, you know, Parler was booming at one point.
Yeah, it
Like, it took
was.
off.
It was
As
going to
soon
be.
as it took
It was
off,
huge.
for literally no reason, Amazon Web Services dropped it,
Dropped them.
which was like cutting their hamstrings.
Yeah.
And it was simply because they were becoming popular.
Yep. And
Now,
let's be clear, it was a right-leaning platform too.
correct.
That's for sure. Go ahead. I just want to
Well,
make sure that was known.
yeah, and there were probably one or two Yahoos on Parler that said inappropriate things, but when you have millions of messages, you're going to have one or two inappropriate things said,
Right.
regardless of the
Absolutely.
platform.
Right.
But and that was, I think that was right after the Alex Jones stuff, and which he was the canary in the coal mine for all this censorship.
Yes, absolutely. Now, just let's be clear. I think Alex is very entertaining, but I don't consider him a credible news source.
Yep.
But a lot of things he's talked about has ended up coming to pass, and we see in the news like 6 months later, we're hearing about the same things he's talked about.
I put him in the coast to coast category in terms
Yeah.
of, you're going to hear a lot of things that might be true, but you can't verify them.
Yeah.
And you're also going to hear some hyperbole.
Yeah.
But either way, you are going to be informed on some things, and you are going to be entertained. So
Yes.
it's like with anything else. There's good and bad.
Yeah, you got to filter it. Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. That's what I do with the nightly news now. I mean, we've had this discussion before, but I took journalism in college. I took communications journalism, and most of the stuff they call journalism now is editorial. It just is.
Yep.
And that's got another name. It's propaganda. So you have to filter through the opinions and get the facts.
Yes.
And like I was reading one article. I think it's the one that we got coming up on the CDC, and it sounded very biased to me. Some of the language in there, but I mean, you can glean the facts out of it, But
I think
anyway,
a lot of your younger journalists, they can't see past their worldview to even be objective.
Yeah, I know,
like,
and
it's so ingrained that they can't set aside the agenda to put out hard news.
Right. You can't just get the facts, ma'am, and put them in there.
Right.
That's what you're supposed to be doing when you're doing journalism. You're just supposed to be journaling what you're seeing. You are the guy that's getting the information. You're not supposed to say how you feel about it. You're just supposed to give what's going on. That's what's supposed to happen.
And the scary thing is that I think it's subconscious. I don't even think they realize that they're promoting propaganda.
Yeah.
At the time. It's just so ingrained, and they've been taught that the whole positive affirmation stuff of little Billy, everything you say is perfect. Just
right. Oh
yeah,
participation awards and
sometimes little Billy needs to be corrected though.
Yes, he does. He does need to be corrected, or he's going to end up getting corrected by the police, and you don't want that for the first time. You really don't. Let's see. Arrow says, Das Wolfen, are you on Joe's Kick or Rumble? Because I need to know how to bring those up to follow. Yeah, they're talking about how to follow each other over there. Yeah, I forgot to set up the damn Rumble page tonight. So we're on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube right now. So, and it'll be populated to Rumble tomorrow. I've got it mirroring over there, but you guys follow us everywhere, man. Please, need all the help I can get on this stuff. But let's keep going with this thread thing. I wanted to get down here to, let's see. Yeah, you get more characters, 500 characters, where Twitter's default is 280. But like Twitter, for many years, you cannot edit a post on Threads once it's been published. Yeah, this is mostly a bunch of bullshit. But when you get down here to the long list reflects Meta's deep knowledge of its users. This is the stuff that you have to sign off on. Okay. Especially multi-platform users who are also on Facebook Messenger and WhatsApp. The following data may be collected and linked to your identity on Threads: health and fitness, financial information, contact information, user contact, browsing history, usage data, diagnostics, purchases. Purchases is the big one. They want that one bad, so they know what you're buying. Location, contacts, search history, identifiers, sensitive info, and other data. It's a very long list and might be a result of a cautious first launch manager's decision to add everything just for full disclosure safety, to be amended later. But they also mentioned that every one of these social medias that you get on do this. So
if they could see what you've purchased from Amazon, that would just be a gold mine.
Yep.
Which, absolutely, for all we know, they can, even without our consent.
Right. I'm sorry, man. How many times have you been sitting there talking to somebody with your phone near you, and then as soon as you start surfing, there's what you were talking about?
Yep.
I mean, come on. You can't tell me they don't listen to you.
Or you searched for one thing one time a year and a half ago, and you see an ad for it, and you know that it's so obscure that it's from that one time you searched for it. Randomly.
Right. That's crazy. But Donald Trump on his social network, Truth, chimed in. He said, Threads, not exactly off to a great start. Hey, Instagram, Threads is verbal, so the whole skimpy bikini thing is not going to work out so well if your influencers can't actually formulate a sentence. In my humble opinion, every time I see that, I want to say, I'm a hoe. It's just, in my humble opinion, you may want to rethink cutting off those who can. Yeah, it's crazy. This guy, he's awesome. But you're getting a lot of different input about this thing. One thing I wanted to look at was on Twitter. If I can get rid of this thing right here.
I think Zuckerberg's greatest comeback to that could be, what is Truth Social?
Yeah, what is Truth Social exactly, right? You telling the truth? Are you sure?
Yeah, never heard of it. No.
Never heard of that one. Let's see. Threads. I typed this in earlier, and I got some great stuff, man.
Which is interesting that they call the app Threads, because that's been a common term for Twitter.
Yeah.
For a long time, in terms of read this thread or what have you.
Right. Twitter versus Threads right now. There you go. Check these guys flipping each other off. That's a good one. Let's see. How Zuck came up with Threads. He stole Twitter's idea.
Which Elon Musk has already responded.
Oh, yeah, he has. Isn't he taking legal action? I think I saw an article on that.
His lawyers.
I should have pulled it up. But lawyers are getting involved here, folks. Yep. It looks pretty much the same. It really does. I saw one. Oh, my God. Yeah, these things are priceless, man. Hang on a second.
Yep. Musk referred to it as cheating.
Here we go. They're just dancing around. That's ridiculous. But the one I thought was funny as hell. Oh, SpongeBob's involved. Wait a minute. Traders who spend hours a day reading the news, and traders who watch crypto saving expert live streams. Oh, that's an ad. Threads will be the next big thing. Bye. Oh my God. Yeah, Jim.
Yeah. In other words,
is he up there swinging his bat and everything?
Yeah.
I saw one with the one with Homer Simpson, though, is great. Not this one, but they're saying he predicted it, right? Hang on a second. Let me find it.
Yeah, the Simpsons. When you have hundreds and hundreds of episodes, you accidentally predict a lot.
Yeah. Well,
now one thing
I should have saved it, but apparently, if you find it, guys, on Twitter, his ear is in the symbol of Threads. It looks just freaking like it, dude. His ear.
One thing that would be well, by the way, Homer Simpson's mouth is in the shape of something else if you turned it sideways. But anyway, setting that aside, one thing that would be interesting if with like
There
AI
it is.
would be that's crazy. That's crazy. Um,
Go ahead.
and that could have been. We don't know we don't know for sure that's legit, but
That's right. We don't know it's legit.
if you
Not until we turn on The Simpsons ourselves and see it. That's right.
yeah, if you could have like I think like a great SNL parody would, or maybe like something in AI would be to have Jim Cramer just making terrible predictions that aren't even related to stock, like
Right.
having from the 1930s saying buy hydrogen powered blimps, they're going to be great, like the day before the Hindenburg and things
Yeah.
like that.
That
Yeah.
would be awesome. Yep. So great, man. But here's the thing. Twitter's not going anywhere, guys. It's not going anywhere.
It's not, but my concern would be that you're going to have Threads become a leftist echo chamber and Twitter
Yeah.
become a right wing echo chamber.
Yeah.
And we need fewer echo chambers.
Yes, we do.
There needs to be cross pollination there.
There needs to be cross pollination, no doubt. You know, because the more they try and divide us, that's when they got control. You know, it's
Yep.
I've said it a million times, and one of my favorite memes. I think I've told you about this thing. It's an African American gentleman with dreads, fist pumping, a redneck with a rebel flag on the back of his jacket, and they're fist bumping, and the white guy's got an AR-15, and the guy with the dreads has got a MAC-10, and it said, "This is what the government really fears, right?
Yep.
Us together, not separated." Yeah,
They do not want people getting along. That's
no,
why Crossfire on CNN 30, 40 years ago started the whole trend of let's have a 10-minute segment on cable news where we yell at each other.
Yeah,
we accomplish nothing.
Yeah, and that's what most news networks are now, is just opinion. It's all opinion, and I really wish, there's so many people that drink Kool-Aid, man. They don't really do their own research and look into things, and it's a shame. I can't remember who it was that said it, but one of the basic components of a free society is a vigilant public, vigilant citizens keeping their eye on what's going on. I mean, it's just part of the press used to be that. That's what they were. They shined a light on the bad things that were going on. Oh God! Now they act like they're spoon-fed everything they give them. I mean,
and even when the
crazy.
Press, the press has had corruption since it existed, because it's of man, and if it involves multiple humans, it's going to have some level of corruption.
Absolutely.
But at least even in the yellow journalism days, they may have been crooked, but they were still also taking the government to task at the same time.
Yes. Yeah.
And you have people that we always joke about Rage Against the Machine is now what, like Rage for the Machine or something?
Rage for the machine, so you get paid. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
That's what they're worried about now. Don't drink the Kool-Aid and don't eat the yellow snow. That's right, Das Wolfen. For damn sure. Don't you eat that yellow snow. And Errol says, they do snow, the bad stuff still? What? Oh, God. Speaking of that, I guess that's a good transition. Yeah. Somebody's still doing it, and somebody's still doing it in the damn White House, boys and girls. You saw the article here recently about them finding cocaine in the White House. Well, guess what? The cocaine found in the White House was in a different location than previously reported, sources say. Yeah, the sources maintain that the area is highly trafficked, in keeping with White House press secretary's characterization on Wednesday.
They're going to try to spin this any way they can.
They're trying to. They're trying to put it closer and closer to the front door where everybody's walking through, right? Multiple officials involved in the White House cocaine inquiry now say the bag of powder was found in a cubby near the White House's West Executive entrance, not the formal West Wing lobby, as was previously reported. The investigators expect to be done with the investigation by Monday, said two sources familiar with the investigation. The inquiry had previously been expected to take a couple of weeks, so they're trying to wrap it up quick. In updating where the cocaine was found, officials said that area was also heavily trafficked.
Oh yeah, could have been anybody.
It could have been anybody. The cocaine was found in an entrance area between the foyer and lower level lobby. The sources said the entrance is near where some vehicles, like the president's limo and
The vice
or SUV, parked. It is one floor below the main West Wing offices and on the same floor as the Situation Room and dining area. Yeah, that's just what we need. Somebody getting jacked up on coke before they make national security decisions.
And if it's
boy,
why is an area near the Situation Room heavily trafficked?
Right? Why is that heavily trafficked?
Yeah.
By the way, there shouldn't be too many people going down there.
Yeah.
Just a handful,
You
really.
shouldn't be on, I got to go on a White House tour back in the 90s.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't be going from like, the Red Room or whatever.
Right.
And then like have the next room you walk in be the Situation Room. It
No.
should be a little more separation there.
There should be a few more doors to open before you get there. Yeah. It should be a little harder to get to. Das Wolfen says the bag had Hunter's blow on Sharpie, so they might have a bit of clue.
Okay, you would legitimately have, like NBC News, you legitimately have that reporter say, "Well, there's more than one Hunter in this world."
There's more than one Hunter.
It could have been Triple H. It could have been.
It could have been Paul Levesque. It could have been. Yes. Ariel says the cocaine belongs to George Bush Jr. You mean W? They didn't clean out that thing since W's been there?
Yeah. That would have been from like early Reagan times when he was
when he was the
VP son.
The vice son, right?
Yeah.
Not the first son. Forensic work on the cocaine bag continued Thursday, though officials are setting low expectations that they will be able to identify who left it.
I'm sure. It's not like they could fingerprint it or anything. It's not like they could do that.
It's not like they don't have. Here's the problem, and I got to stop laughing now because here's the thing that irritates me the most. And I'm sorry I didn't put the article back up, guys. The thing that irritates me the most is, and we're going to see this in another government agency here in a minute with another article we got to go over, but man, to the victors go the spoils. These friggin' government agencies are all in hock with the administration. The DOJ, trust me, is not working round the clock on this case.
No,
they are not.
Fact, I'm waiting for the story that says there was maintenance being done on the cameras at the time where they think the substance
cocaine was left. Yeah.
Just like when a certain guy in a New York City prison ended up eliminated himself with a bed sheet,
self-deleting. Yeah,
all the cameras went out. Gosh, the guards weren't looking.
I mean, they're just doing it right in our face now.
We put him in a cell with a 300-pound serial killer.
Right. Don't know what happened.
We don't know what happened.
I have no clue.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. I know I laugh about this shit a lot, but it's comical, man. It really is.
Like
I mean, you look, you're either going to laugh at it or you're going to get mad. And my brother's the one that gets mad about it. I've got to laugh because I know this too shall pass. It goes in waves. There's peaks and valleys to everything. And, that's, I don't know. I just, you want to you want to shine a light on it. And that's the main reason why we do this show, to let people know, pay attention. Don't just take what's being spoon fed to you. Check it out and see what's going on. Let's see. Das Wolfen says, I got to pop into a meeting with Gary. I will be back when I'm done. Okay, buddy. We'll see you then. But continuing on with the article, let's see what else we can find out. Press Secretary Karen Jean-Pierre. Is that how you pronounce her name?
I think it's Karine Jean-Pierre.
Karine Jean-Pierre?
Yeah.
Okay. Karine.
She is from somewhere in the Caribbean.
Is it? Okay. Declined to answer when she was asked at Wednesday's briefing which of the two West Wing entrances was involved, saying she would let the Secret Service addressed that. Okay, that's good. The sources, well, that's a good job by her. That's what she's supposed to do.
Yep.
The sources maintain that the area is highly trafficked. Boy, that's the second time they said it. In this,
Yep.
you know,
Highly
when they
trafficked.
start repeating things, that's when they want to beat it into you.
I'm surprised she didn't say it was probably one of you. And
Right, it's probably one of
reported.
you people. I'm really pissed at you people, right?
Yeah.
In keeping with Jean-Pierre's characterization Wednesday, the area is transited by VIPs, visitors, tourists. They let tourists that close to the situation room?
Interesting.
Did you ever get that close to the situation
I never
room?
got that close. I did get to
that's
go in the East Room. The East Room's not as big as you would think.
Really? Okay. Let's see. Staff members, military officials, and facilities operations employees. What I wanted to be very clear is that this is a heavily, okay, now they're just hammering it home. Heavily trafficked, heavily traveled, to be more accurate, area of the campus of the White House. Jean-Pierre told reporters Wednesday. It is where visitors to the West Wing come through. Well,
they said you have to say heavily at least 7 times.
At least 7 times. You've got to hammer this home. Hammer it home, girl.
Yeah.
I just said earlier in the article, when they start repeating it, that's when you know you're being fed something. And sure enough, she made you choke on it right there. Yeah.
Yeah. So. I'm pretty sure that they have canines or something at the entrance if you're a tourist.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
And they would probably pick up on that.
I would think. Ariel says, but would require to do work, and I'm too lazy. Now, look, you know, if you could, hey, if you want to be an ostrich and stick your head in the sand, fine. Just remember, you're going to get what you deserve. Okay, you're going to get you will reap what you sow, as the book says. Trafficked. Well, isn't that what they do with cocaine? Yeah,
maybe they meant the coke was well trafficked. Like it.
Yes, maybe the coke was well trafficked. I want to make this very clear.
Yeah,
heavily trafficked. Okay, let's see if there's anything else we can glean from this. This is under the purview of the Secret Service. She said they are currently investigating what happened over the weekend. So I would have to refer you to the Secret Service on all of this. So yeah, she's handed off, which is what she should do instead of trying to make excuses. That's good. That's good. Good job. Officers found the cocaine during a routine patrol. A Secret Service official said the substance tested positive for cocaine at a lab on Wednesday.
President Joe has been relieved of duty.
Right? Yeah. And we can't find that officer right now. I don't know where he is. I think he went to Siberia or something like that. Yeah. Let's see. Ruben says cocaine. It's a hell of a drug. Yeah, it is.
But we know she's telling the truth because, I mean, the song, you know, the Eric Clapton song, she don't lie, she don't lie, she don't lie.
She don't lie. No. Yeah. No. President Joe Biden and his family were at the presidential retreat at Camp David, Maryland, not the White House, when the officers discovered the cocaine. Like that matters at all.
Right. Where was Hunter? Yeah.
Where was Hunter? That's what we want to know.
Because apparently he's been living at the White House.
I mean, come on, man. You know, and they act like we're idiots for asking these questions.
Yeah.
I'm like, look, there's video proof of this dude with hookers doing blow off their ass. Come on now. We've seen it. It wasn't deep faked. It's him. We know this. All right. Damn. Ariel says investigating, meaning that they are getting rid of the evidence by hiding it in their notes. Oh, God.
It's the perfect plan.
Yeah, it is. Oh, shit. But anyway, I believe there's certain people that are starting to ask questions about this. Senator Tom Cotton, Republican of Arkansas, sent a letter Wednesday asking Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle for more information about the investigation. Secret Service officials say they have received the letter and will respond. So, yeah, I was fixing to say I was pretty sure that I heard that somebody in the Senate had started the investigation, you know, if nothing else, just letting them know, hey, we want to know more about this. So, yeah, there's going to be, there's going to be some kind of investigation by Congress on this. I would
I think you'll
imagine
also
that's
see
going to be the next dog and pony show we're going to have to deal with. Is this?
yeah.
It's going to be cocaine gate, and yeah.
You'll also see some articles that'll come out that'll say, is it really wrong to do cocaine? Is that really a bad thing?
Oh my
You know,
God, no.
you'll get those that'll come out. Say, is that what we're all so upset about?
Yeah, it is what we're upset about. You crazy maniacs. Oh,
They'll say
well,
they'll point to how well things are going in Portland where that's legal. Oh, wait a minute.
oh wait, no. Did I say
Yeah.
that? I meant weed. Yeah, that's what I meant. Low spec. It's good to see you, man. I don't like the high. I just like the smell. That's awesome. These guys are funny, man. But hey, look, after seeing what happened with the last time he was in court with the slap on the wrist they gave him for stuff that, I mean, you and I would be under the jail, and he got
Yeah.
a slap on the wrist. So nothing's going to
Well,
come of this.
a former president would have been impeached for a third time.
Yes, he would have. No doubt. No doubt. That's for sure. Okay, so let's see what the next one is we got to talk about. Yeah, this one now I always, no matter who's doing the show, me and my brother or me and you, we have to talk about what's going on the other side of the world because I want people to keep their eye on it. Because look, the reason why I look at this, first of all, guys, I was in the military back in between 83 and 89. 3 years regular Army, 3 years National Guard in Louisiana. And I won't ever trust the Russians as far as I can throw them. Okay, I just won't. It was ingrained in me back then, and I've seen nothing to trust them now. And the reason why I keep hammering, you've got to keep an eye on this is number one, they're a superpower and they have nukes, and they're notorious about not keeping track of them. So, you've got to keep an eye on that angle of it. The other thing is this: the cocaine story we just got done covering. That family has been busy with the administration of the country that they're at war with. Okay. Right. And it's highly corrupt. So, what's going on over there, it could turn into a mess really quickly. So you need to keep your eyes on it. And the latest thing that I saw earlier, a couple of days ago, and I got this one, I think it was printed 7 hours ago. At noon today. This is CBS News. Russia won't say where Wagner boss, let's see, Yevgeny Prigozhin. Did I say that right?
Correct.
I think I got
right.
it. Yeah. Yevgeny Prigozhin. Now, don't expect me to get it right every time, guys.
Anytime there's a Z in the middle of a name, I struggle.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. You don't know if the Z is silent or the H or what, but they won't say where he is, but photos purportedly show his raided home. Now, and wait until you hear what they found in that home. Oh my God. Ugh. The mercenary leader who led a short-lived mutiny against the Kremlin is in Russia, and his troops are in their field camps, the president of Belarus claimed Thursday, raising new questions about the deal that ended the extraordinary challenge to President Vladimir Putin's rule.
Which Belarus is like it's a Russian state.
Yes.
I mean, they are loyal to Russia.
Yes, they are. I mean, it's not part of the country, but they are loyal to Russia. Yes,
I do have one fun fact. I got to go to the Olympics in 1996 in Atlanta, Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
And while there, I was able to get a signed T-shirt of all the members of the Belarus men's gymnastics team.
Really?
And I still have it. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's just that's my only connection to Belarus.
Yeah, but that's cool.
Yeah.
That's a connection nobody else has. I wouldn't know anything about Belarus, man. Nothing at all. That's cool. Belarusian president Alexander Lukashenko. Man, I'm getting these pretty good today. Yep. I must just be stuttering Joe around my brother or something. I don't know.
I'll just see if I can find that shirt.
Okay. Lukashenko's claim could not be independently verified. The Kremlin refused to comment on Wagner boss Yevgeny Prigozhin's whereabouts. Let's see what you guys are talking about in the chat. Or at least Putin use a tactical nuke. Wait. You started with something else. I'm waiting for Russia to launch a tactical nuke against Ukraine. I'm hoping they don't do that. Pray they don't do that, Ariel. We do not need the nuclear option uncorked, please. Or at least Putin uses a tactical nuke. I don't want him to do it. They found cocaine. Basically a puppet state of Russia. Yeah, well, yeah, we knew that.
Right,
you're
ready,
talking
Joe?
about Belarus. Yeah, hang on a second. Let me put you up there, man. Go.
There you go.
Look at that. A little higher, a little higher. It says y'all. Belarus men's Olympic. That's good. Okay, a little bit to. There you go. And a little bit higher. Gymnastics team. Got it. Yeah, that's very cool, man.
And then on the back, got signatures.
Look at all them signatures, man. Now, what's all the information in the middle there?
Those are sponsors.
Oh, okay.
So just sponsors in Georgia. So
wow, that's cool.
Anyway, I'm not even sure how I got that, but
imagine that Russians in Georgia. Wow.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. You are the only podcast ever to have a signed Belarusian.
That's right.
Belarusian men's gymnastics.
You get to see stuff that you would never see anywhere else, guys. Never see anywhere else. Let's see. What's she talking about? Maybe try and get a case for that shirt. Yeah. You should put that under glass, man. I got my large one under glass right here. Where is Wagner's Prigozhin, and why does it matter? Russian media have said that Wagner chief was recently spotted at his offices in St. Petersburg. However, the pro-Kremlin outlets published photos Thursday purportedly taken inside a mansion belonging to Prigozhin in the city, which is Russia's second largest. A U.S. official told CBS News on Thursday that Prigozhin was not believed to be in Belarus and could be in Russia. It was not clear if Prigozhin's presence in Russia would violate the deal, which allowed the head of the Wagner Group military contractor to move to Belarus in exchange for ending his rebellion and a promise of amnesty for him and his troops. The reports signaled that the agreement may have allowed him to finalize his affairs in Russia, which would explain why he's in Russia, right? Yeah.
So finalize his affairs. That's what they tell someone.
Finalize his affairs.
A terminal diagnosis.
Is that like, power of attorney and things like that?
Get your affairs in order.
Yeah, get your shit together, right? Yeah. Okay, let's see. If that's true, it could suggest that the threat posed by Prigozhin was not yet fully diffused, and that the Kremlin is treading carefully with him until it can figure out what to do with the troops who may still be loyal to him. Putin has said that Wagner troops can join the Russian military, retire from service, or move to Belarus. They have three options, and that's a good deal. I would say that's a good move by them.
There's always a fourth option.
There is a fourth option. Of course, it's the option that shall not be named.
Right.
Yeah, but that's number 4, and but much about the agreement, which was brokered by Lukashenko, remains murky. Yeah, that happened really quick. The day this happened.
Oh yeah.
It's like Lukashenko said, "Look, man, I'm going to whack your pee-pee," and all of a sudden it was over with.
Yeah, it was all in like a 24-hour, 18-hour period.
Right. And I'm pretty sure I've read one article. I don't have it here. Of course, me and my brother dig into all these articles during the week to get our stories. And there was one I read that told him that, look, if you decide to do this, then you're going to face the Russian special forces when you get into Russian territory. And that's what you're going to face. And I think he realized that, hey, my guys, they're regular soldiers. They're not really going to be able to handle these dudes,
And Putin's got numbers.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's got numbers out the ass.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a valiant effort and everything, but, you got to think about what you're doing.
If you go in there trying to be, a freedom fighter and you think you can get some of the troops to switch sides over to your side, yes, some of them might, but the moment they try to switch over to your side, they're going to get whacked.
They're going to get the same treatment. Yeah. And and they know that.
There's a reason why Putin's been in charge for as long as he has. I think even when Yeltsin was president, I think
when he was in the KGB,
power.
when he was high up in the KGB, he had a lot to say about what was going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's always been a bigwig there. Yeah, absolutely, man. And that's why I don't trust him. He's ex-KGB. I will never trust that dude. Don't trust a word that comes out of his mouth.
That it's on camera whenever Medvedev or whatever the guy's name was president for like that 4-year period under Obama. That the fact that it's on camera with that Russian president talking to President Obama and Obama saying after the election I'll have more flexibility.
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah,
the media did nothing.
Didn't say a word about it, and I'm like,
yeah,
did he just threaten him? What what is going on there?
He said I'll be basically indicating I'll be able to make more deals after the election.
Yeah, it's crazy, man, crazy. Yeah. Ariel says means he's about to get Stalinized.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which Stalin, he's from Georgia, and I think Georgia's kind of like the Mississippi or the Alabama of Russia. Like, you don't have a lot of prominent leaders come out of there.
No.
And I think a lot of the people in Moscow, kind of look down upon Stalin.
Yeah.
In terms of, you're a hick, basically. Well, he showed them.
Yeah, for sure. And she says, you're not mentioning the fourth option. Look, girl, if I got to spell it up, she's trolling me. She's starting to troll me. Ariel, you're trolling me. Guys, if you don't understand what I'm talking about by the fourth option, it's a form of deletion. It's not self-deletion. I can tell you that. Okay, so I got to get down here to the pictures of this guy's place, though. You guys are it's like something out of The Walking Dead, man. It's fucking weird. But much about the agreement, which was brokered by Lukashenko, remains murky. Last week, Lukashenko said that the mercenary leader was in Belarus, but on Thursday, he told international reporters that Prigozhin was in St. Petersburg and could also travel to Moscow if he so wishes, while Wagner's troops were in their camps. And I guess that's probably why he's able to travel, is if they stay there. They don't go with him. He did not specify the location of the camps, but Prigozhin's mercenaries fought alongside Russian forces in East Ukraine before their revolt and also have bases in Russian territory. He also said that Prigozhin has been given back the cash and weapons that were confiscated by Russian authorities. That's interesting.
It is. And whenever that initially, after the dust settled, didn't the Wagner group or Prigozhin or some combination of them say that, we weren't trying to overthrow the government. That's not what we were trying to do.
Yeah.
But I don't think they ever said what they were trying to do.
No, they didn't state what their goal was, but
it's like a kid with his hand in the cookie jar. I wasn't trying to take a cookie.
It wasn't me.
I was sure the jar didn't.
Yeah, it was that guy that whose wife walks in on him. Yeah, it wasn't me. Wasn't me.
Yeah.
Wasn't me.
I was assisting her. Yeah.
Right. I was assisting her. Asked where Prigozhin is, Putin's spokesman Dmitry Peskov. Yeah, that sounds like pest. Shrugged off the question, saying the Kremlin has neither the desire nor the means to track his movements.
Yeah.
They got the means, boys and girls. Trust me. They got the means. And trust me, they're watching him. Yeah.
They sure enough had the means when he was going to try to march on the
He was marching on friggin' Moscow, right?
Yep.
They knew exactly where he was. But he affirmed that the deal that ended the mutiny uh, and envisaged his move to Belarus. Uh, Lukashenko said his government offered Wagner, which has sent troops around the world to fight for Russia's interests, and as a CBS News investigation revealed, to take money. The use of Belarusian military camps put that the company had not made a final decision. Yeah, if you've been following the Wagner Group, a couple of weeks before this happened, the first thing that came to my mind was he was about to be brought up on war crimes
Yeah.
because I believe it's a North African country that the Wagner Group killed a bunch of civilians, uh, like hundreds. Um,
Well,
uh,
so it sounds like it's like Blackwater or like an
yeah,
evil version of Blackwater. Yeah.
something. Yeah, so they did something in North Africa that was bad.
Yeah.
And I really thought that maybe they were, the leadership was about to be brought up on war crimes charges, and that's what I thought of. The first thing I thought of when I heard this, because we had covered it on a previous show, and I was like, well, they're about to be, have charges on them, and they're probably saying, "Fuck it," you
Yeah.
know, Let, us go,
Yep. We got nothing to
So
lose.
yeah, nothing to lose. There's nothing more dangerous than a guy with nothing to lose, no doubt. Um, let's get down here to the photos of the place. Photos purportedly show Prigozhin's raided home. On Wednesday, Russian online newspaper Fontanka, well, that could be propaganda, guys, but we'll go ahead and check this out. And is Vistia, or something like that. Two different papers, both of which are pro-Kremlin. Hello.
Yep.
There's your clue right there. Posted videos and photos they said were Prigozhin's opulent mansion in St. Petersburg. And you see that nice little baby grand right there,
You're not sharing.
Oh, I'm not sharing. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Yeah, he's got a little baby grand there, right?
Yep.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
And
The
then,
checkerboard floor, like the Greystone Mansion that's in Hollywood, that's in a lot of movies. Yep.
right. And then you've got, let's see, the outlet said the images were taken following a raid of the Russian authorities by Russian authorities, and they showed stacks of cash, gold bullion, and a jacket fully covered in medals Prigozhin was awarded, including the Hero of Russia medal, one of the country's highest awards. That's pretty nice looking. Yeah.
That's a lot of money. That's
That's
a cartoonishly large amount of medals.
large amount of awards,
Yeah.
yes, especially for the didn't they call him Putin chef or something like that, the chef of the Kremlin or something? I think his nickname was the chef of something. He's been an ally of Putin's forever, man.
Yeah. Well, if you're Belarus, you have to do the calculus. Are
Mhm.
you better off being loyal or better off not being loyal? You're probably
Right,
better off being loyal.
right.
Yeah.
As Vista also published a collection of photos it said were selfies taken by Prigozhin, showed him posing in various wigs, fake beards, and foreign uniforms, in an apparent reflection of Wagner's deployments to Syria and several African countries.
Yep. And I think it's pronounced Wagner, but I'm an American, so I say Wagner as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm going to say Wagner. A photo hanging in the mansion showed a lineup of decapitated heads. What?
Well, that
In one
escalated.
published image, an oversized souvenir sledgehammer could also be seen with an inscription for important negotiations. The
It's like when
sledgehammer
Anakin
has
Skywalker talks about enhanced interrogations.
right enhanced
He's bringing a
interrogation.
lightsaber.
That's
Yeah.
it. The sledgehammer has become a symbol of Wagner after reports its troops used the tool to beat defectors to death. That is, yeah. Look, the more I look into the war in the Ukraine, why it started, and all that good stuff, this is what I've come to realize, guys. There is no right side in this skirmish at all. There
Well,
is none.
that article mentioned him being in Syria.
Yeah.
When President Trump said, "I don't want to get involved in Syria,"
Mm-hmm.
you had Lindsey Graham on the left, you had Chuck Schumer on the right, you had almost all the Senate and all the House going, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, wait a minute, we have to be involved." Well, if both sides start agreeing on something, that's when I get really suspicious.
That is a big, big flag right there.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
We both know both sides want the war machine to
They
be
want
used as much as possible.
hell yeah.
Yep.
It's that look, the Uniparty wants us to be a global colonization thing. That's what they want us to be.
Well, when Lindsey Graham met with the Ukrainian president, I mean, he's on camera talking about how this conflict has created a lot of dead Russians, and that he likes there being a lot of dead Russians. For a sitting U.S. senator to say something like that,
No,
that's unacceptable.
No, it is unacceptable. Yeah. It's ridiculous, man. You don't ever wish members of another country to be dead. It's
a country that we're not even at war with.
No, we're not.
Yeah.
No. I mean, look, let's face it. It's a proxy war going on right now. And look, the more I dig into this, the more it looks to me like the Bidens are friggin' part of a money laundering operation in fucking Ukraine. It's what it looks like to me.
You have Biden. I think it was maybe between when he was VP and president, with that C-SPAN video.
Oh God, the video was, and
it's incriminating.
You talk about that, and these people act like it didn't exist or it was a joke. I'm like, even if it's a joke, it's the wrong kind of joke to be telling.
Right.
That you manipulated a foreign government just to cover your son's ass.
Yeah, I think it was to either fire a judge or a prosecutor.
Yeah, it was a prosecutor.
It happened.
It was a prosecutor, and it happened, and he was bragging about it openly. I'm like, guys, man, what in the hell?
Right.
That's why I say, when they were talking about the Ukraine coming into NATO and trying to, apply for NATO, I was like, who's vetting this? Because man, there is nothing but corruption. Yeah.
Now you've got bad dudes versus bad dudes.
That's it.
And there's also a lot of those Ukrainian soldiers that have a certain symbol that either they have tattooed or they have in their uniforms.
Has anybody even stopped to think that maybe Putin's doing exactly what he said he was trying to do? Because that's what he said he was trying to do. De-Yatsify the area is what he was trying to do. Right? And that's what my man, what's sad is when a comedian in New York does better journalism than most of these damn networks. I don't know if you follow Jimmy Dore at all. But
I haven't lately, but he's a classical liberal.
Yes,
but he
absolutely
he calls balls and strikes pretty fairly.
He does. He's a very good umpire. And look, he was screaming that when it first broke out, and he showed you pictures. And he's got internet journalists on there quite a bit too. And so I mean, I just want this thing to end as quickly as possible. This little, they're shooting around a friggin' nuclear power plant. What's really going on with that? That could melt down any day. I mean, mortars don't care about whether or not something's nuclear.
Yeah.
They're going to blow up wherever you launch them. So they're just one bad. I mean, when I got worried was when, some loose shells ended up in Poland. I was like, holy shit. Yep. You can't do that, man.
It's also disconcerting when you think about the Ukrainian president. I mean, he's a former comedian.
Yeah.
And he's
the mayor of their biggest city is an ex-boxer. Used to be the heavyweight champion.
Oh yeah, one of the Klitschko brothers. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'd like to see that guy versus Kane. But
yeah, there you go.
Who runs Knoxville. But
right.
What's interesting about the Ukrainian president is that he's kind of zany, and he's always trying to tug at people's heartstrings.
Yeah,
and it's exhausting.
He's definitely manipulative.
He'll do photo shoots where they manufacture a bombed out area that's not really bombed out,
and
he'll do the photo shoot in front of that.
Yeah,
and then when the camera pulls back, it's a set.
It's a set, yeah.
And you're like,
it's just
ridiculous.
It's horrible. It's horrible.
And his wife spends money like
like a
on
drunken sailor.
everything.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Our money.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yep, our money. Yep. Were they hoping that people would follow them into the battle against the military and Putin? Yeah, that's what they were hoping. Wagner Group. So the Germans tried to take Russia again and failed. Yeah, I hear you. Isn't Turkey and Hungary still stopping Ukraine from joining NATO? I would be surprised if they are.
Yeah. I'm not sure
Because
who all's
they're
opposing
closer.
them.
They know what's going on over there
Yep.
more than we do. That's for sure.
And Turkey, the guy
Yep.
that runs that, he's a bad dude.
Yeah, he is big time.
Swear to God.
You know, another thing that's bad about Ukraine is that when Crimea went back to Russia, Ukraine cut off the water to Crimea, which makes me think, why would Crimea want to be a part of Ukraine anymore? Or excuse me again. Yeah, it's just bad stuff over there altogether. I just want to see it end, but I want to keep you guys aware of what's going on over there because, I mean, look, guys, I'm not going to have to worry about it. If a nuclear war breaks out tomorrow, I'll look at Rhonda and go, "What was that flash, baby?" And it'll be over for me because I'm like one neighborhood away from a SAC base. Okay, we're basically number 3 on the hit list. You know, they hit the White House first. You know, White House and the Pentagon in Washington. They hit NORAD second, and then it's us and Minot, North Dakota. Strategic Air Command's the next one that goes out. So, but you guys will have to live in that aftermath, and I don't wish that on anybody, man. It would not be pretty. But anyway, that's enough about Russia tonight. Let's move on to this last story we got here. And this is just now this one here, guys. We're gonna have to watch how we word things on this one because it's just this is just straight up silliness right here. There's no other way I can put this. I was reading this, preparing for the show out loud. My wife was standing right there, and she's a nurse, was for 20 years, and she's like,
yeah,
they can't do that. It's not physically possible. No. But anyway, what am I talking about? I'm talking about the CDC apparently endorses biological males chest feeding.
Which
That's right.
Should not be a term.
Should not be a term at all. It shouldn't be a term at all. Let's see what they're saying. In case there were any doubts, this, excuse me real quick. This guy that wrote this article is definitely right-leaning. You can tell by the way he words things. Yeah. But the facts are the facts, and we can show them to you because he also sent me the actual CDC site where it says this. In case there were any doubts that the CDC has fully embraced politics over science, they're now embracing chest feeding.
And you may want to say transformers or something like that.
Yeah, I got you. Chest feeding, of course, is a term that the let me think. What word do I want to use?
Trans Am? I don't know.
Yeah, Trans Am's good. Okay, the Trans Am activists use to describe biological males giving milk to infants. Now, boys and girls, if you know anything about biology, this cannot be done. Okay, males do not lactate; they cannot do this. All right, they don't.
Unless you're referring to the scene in Meet the Parents where Greg Fokker talks about you can milk anything with nipples. Yeah. Can you milk my cat, Greg?
You don't want me to read this at all, do you? Oh my God. I haven't seen that movie in forever. It's funny as shit. Oh God. De Niro is a crackpot, but boy, he's funny in those movies.
Great actor.
Yeah, he is. Let's see. And the CDC is endorsing it. According to the Daily Mail, a section on health equity explains that according to the nation's leading public health agency, an individual does not need to have given birth to breastfeed or chest feed. And what they're talking about is right here. It's on the CDC website under nutrition, health equity considerations. And I think I read most of this, and it has to do with emergency situations and getting everybody health care. correctly.
And it's from
But
September. Yeah, so it's the media is
yeah,
just now catching on to it. Yeah.
the media's just now catching on to this, and it was published last September. And it has a lot to do. I mean, they talk about pronouns in here and a whole bunch
Yeah.
of other stuff,
Yeah.
which makes no sense to me because we're talking about getting health stuff, and then we've got right here. Let me, excuse me, blow this up a little bit. Right here under pronoun use, there's a whole section on pronoun use. Remember that transams and non-binary gender individuals may give birth. They may give birth.
Well,
Um.
if they're an X chromosome, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess
Yeah.
if it's yeah. I guess if it's an Elliott Page
Yeah.
situation, that could
Yeah.
happen.
And those
Yeah.
XX
Yeah.
chromosomes, they're also known as a little word that the CDC hasn't heard of called woman.
Yeah.
Even though
Yeah.
they do use it there, but yeah, it's called a woman. Yeah.
Give birth and breastfeed or feed at the chest. Chest feed. They even define it right there. Feed at the chest.
Yeah.
Chest feed. The gender identity or expression of transam individuals is different from their sex at birth. The gender identity of non-binary gendered individuals does not fit neatly into either man or woman. Yeah, that's the whole definition of non-binary. Thank you. We appreciate that. And an individual does not need to have given birth to breastfeed or chest feed. Um, I'm pretty sure you have to have given birth. I don't know if you've noticed this or not, boys and girls, but when ladies are pregnant, they kind of add volume. Yeah,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
part of the process. It's part of the process, boys and girls. That is an out and out lie. My wife lost her mind when she was hearing this.
Yeah.
You know. Anyway, let me get back here. Some families may have other preferred terminology for how they feed their babies, such as nursing, chest feeding, or body feeding. That's what they're talking about in this article. That's straight off the CDC's website. And you should have seen my wife. She was losing it, man. She was like, wow. I said, you know what you sound like? She said, what? I said, you sound like Megyn Kelly. Did you see that thing a couple weeks ago when she said that she was trying to follow the protocols and use people's proper pronouns and all this stuff. And I think it had to do with some girls getting chastised for not wanting to compete against men.
Oh yeah, I think I did see that.
Trans Am men.
Mhm.
And she finally lost it. She said, look, you're diminishing women. You need to stop. It's ridiculous. You can't do what we do. And she talked about exactly what we've been talking about that men can't do, and I was telling my wife, I said, you can do things I can't do, and I can do things you can't do. I can lift twice what you can easily, just normally, just because of the way I'm built, but I cannot create life. Yeah. And I cannot sustain life in my body. You can, and she goes, well, it takes both of us to create. I said, yeah, I know it takes both of us, but I cannot gestate said life and bring it to life. I cannot do that.
You're not involved in the 9-month process.
The 9-month process, exactly. Yeah. And for once again, this is a government agency that has bought into the political side of things when they shouldn't. These are supposed to be autonomous agencies, that actually police our government.
And there's no rational motive to have them follow any trends just for the sake of following them.
Yeah.
Like there's no, other than ideology, there's no incentive for them to, glom on to the flavor of the month.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. Is there anything else in this article you wanted to hear? Because I could just stop talking about it right there. It's just the fact that they're even considering any of this in a scientific way. That has nothing to do with science right there, because it's not possible.
It's true. I mean, it's
not biology. That's
it can't be done.
politics.
I'm cracking up from Ariel's last couple comments.
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Where are we starting at?
About how she identifies.
Okay. No, anything about Ukraine? I'm close to. Okay. Let's just start here. We'll finish up all the stuff. I'm close to Lemoore Naval Air Base, and I think it's on the list to be hit because it's the largest naval air base on the West Coast. Yeah, you're on the list. Trust me. If you're anywhere near a friggin' military installation, you're on the list. Let's see. I identify as JoesAtmosfere. I demand to be called as such. All right, Joe. Sure.
That'd
sure
be confusing.
Yeah. I'm Mama Coffee Joe. Thank you very much. Let's see. But men could give breast milk, especially when they have boobs.
Yeah. Okay. So, and I think that article also gets into that. Okay, let's say you pump them with enough estrogen to where there some
that is brought up in the article. Let me
produced.
that. That is brought up in here, isn't it?
Yeah. Then it's going to be so filled with chemicals that's hazardous for anyone to consume that.
Yeah. Here we go. Hang on a second. Let me go ahead and bring that up. A Q&A section also explained that some Trans Am parents who have had breast top surgery may wish to breastfeed or chest feed, a term used some Trans Am and non-binary parents, their infants. To do so, the CDC says that those individuals may need to use medication to induce lactation. Except there are potential complications to such medication that the CDC completely ignores.
Yep.
The Daily Mail spoke to several doctors who said one product used on biological males has been linked to heart problems in babies. But acknowledging these risks means potentially contradicting Trans Am activists, and so it's conveniently ignored. Welcome to the modern concept of science. That's not science, that is politics.
Yep.
Because if you know this information, if you know it's linked to heart problems with babies, better living through steroids. It's bad
right.
for you.
Well, and there's a lot of factors when it comes to breastfeeding. For instance, a perfectly healthy woman, if she's on a lot of pain medication after giving birth, that's going to cause her not to be able to lactate as much as she would be able to if she wasn't. So there's a lot that has to go in, that has to be factored in for things to be successful, and to try to have some sort of Frankenstein situation.
Yeah,
it's
stupid, man. It's completely stupid. I mean, I understand if you're a guy wanting to become a woman, and let me be clear. I always bring up Elliot Page because I was a huge Ellen Page fan. I don't even know if I'm a huge Elliot Page fan. I know he acts neurotic every time he's in front of a camera, and it's not for a movie. So I that I'm not a fan of. But I watched the Oprah interview with him, and he sounds like he's much better up here than he was. So, I mean, if that floats his boat, God love him.
If you're 18 or older, live your life.
Live your life. That's it.
But the same rules apply to everyone, and that is your rights end at where someone else's nose begins, basically.
That's it. That's it. Exactly. Yeah, and I have no problem with folks that need to do that. I have, I was in the nightclub business for 18 years, and two things I know better than anything is addicts and people with different sexualities. Let me tell you, you run into all kinds when you're in the club business. Let me tell you, because I got everybody's drug of choice back there, so nobody is immune. And look, I've got all kinds of friends that are different in many ways. I've got gay friends, I've got transgender friends. Whatever, it runs the gambit, and none of them subscribe to any of this stuff. They want this stuff to go away just as much as we do. You know what I mean? They're just trying to live their lives, you know?
Exactly.
So it's a shame that and this is just, look, guys, this is just another way for them to separate people.
Yep.
I mean, it's a way to do it through language and through I mean, Alex said it best, social engineering.
Yeah.
You know,
it's a wedge issue.
It is a wedge issue. Yeah, the wedge issue. Wow. Drives a wedge in, and it's hard to pull out, man, because once people get fired up about it, look, don't buy into splitting us up. Anything that's trying to split us up, you better question the shit out of it. See who's, let me see. Where is it? Where is it? I keep forgetting I got my videos. Where is my video for this? There it is. You got to do this.
Why was Kennedy killed? Who benefited? Who has the power to cover it up?
That's what you got to ask yourself.
Yep.
Follow the money. That's always going to tell you what's going on with this. It's always going to tell you. Yep. All right, man. That is the extent of what we put together for tonight's show. I hope you enjoyed yourself, Matt. I did. I love talking about this stuff. I just don't get it to do it that often. And, you know, the vehicle me and my brother have is a lot of fun. You know, he and I have a ball doing it. You know, we drink doing it, but I didn't want to drink with you because I know you're not a drinker. So I wanted to get on here and have a normal conversation about this stuff, you know. But
and by the way, to go back to your earlier point about, you know, how you have friends that you know, have those, you know, that have that lifestyle.
Right.
Like, I have no problem with people wanting to do what they want to do as long as you're not impacting other people in a negative way.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. As long as you're not telling other people how to live their lives.
Yep.
But once you start doing that, you cross the line.
Yep. That, and you mentioned Jimmy Dore. Even though even though I disagree with him on some things, Jimmy Dore, Bill Maher, Jon Stewart, Anna Kasparian, I disagree with them, but they at least are trying to find some sort of truth.
Yes, they are. They are.
Whereas,
you're not going to agree with everything they have to say. Bill Maher, that guy, you know, a lot of times I can't even listen to him. Yeah. But you're right. He at least tries to get down to the brass tacks of what's going on. Yeah. He's trying to find the truth.
He fails often, but he tries.
Yeah. And you know why I think that is, Matt? And you're probably going to laugh at me, but every bit of good comedy has truth in it. Those guys are actually, they try to speak truth to power.
And I think that's why comedians are more reasonable.
Yeah. And it's also why comedians are the first to be banished on college campuses too.
Well, Seinfeld, he refuses to go on college
campus. There are all kinds of comedians that won't go back on a college campus. They've had enough of it, you know? Yep. So, well, I hope you had a good time tonight, man. I hope everybody out there had a good time. This is, you got to take time out once a week to talk about the serious stuff. And yeah, I might laugh at it, but I'm doing it to bring it to your attention, guys, because you don't be the ostrich with your head in the sand, man. You don't want things to sneak up on you. Of course, you know, what we usually do in this time slot is the brothers hack the matrix. My brother should be back next week. He, like I said, he had travel problems last night and running on empty today. So we gave him a break. Matt's decided to step in, be the backup quarterback for this show. So we'll have a show for you every Thursday, one way or another. And then, of course, the next time you can see me is Saturday when I do the cover for issue 2. Sketching the Privateer. I do that every Saturday at 1:30 p.m. Central Time. And then Monday morning, I'm on Military Monday, Morning Coffee with Gary on Pop Culture Minefield. The Point Man is not the show. John couldn't think of what it was that he's doing, but he's doing a different show, but it's always going to be a military movie on Monday, and we talk about whether or not, you know, it's realistic and stuff like that. I'm a vet, and so is Gary, and he actually was a medic. And we do that on Monday mornings at 10 a.m. and that's brought to you by Pop Culture Minefield and KGRA Digital Broadcasting. And then Monday evening, I'm usually on That 70s Rock Fans channel. I don't have the graphic on this particular show, but he's doing Cyborg this Monday. So be sure to tune in for that on Monday at 4 p.m. Central Time. On that 70s rock fan. It's called Only Talk and Roll, but you'll see on the thumbnail, it's a big picture of Jean-Claude Van Damme, and Razorfist is supposed to be there, so that should be fun. It's always fun when he comes on the show, man. And then I start my week over again on Tuesdays with Papa Joe Gamer After Dark, little video games, cocktails, and fails. I do that on Tuesday and Wednesdays at 10 p.m. Central, and then the show that Matt does with me on Wednesdays, along with Das Wolfen and Knock, when he's not playing Diablo 4, we
And
get
Jed.
together. What's that? What'd you say, bud?
And Jed.
And Jed, yeah, Jed's a new regular. I gotta work him into the video. But anyway, we do this one. It's pop culture oriented. I love movies and video games and stuff like that. We talk about all that stuff on Wednesdays at 5:30 p.m. Central Time. State of the Atmosphere. So for myself and Matt, Small Time Republic. Hang on, let me check the chat one more time. Let me see. Oh, he says we're doing 13 hours on Monday. That's excellent.
Yep.
I love that movie. That is a really good movie. And 13 Hours is the movie about the incident that kept me from that totally turned me off of ever giving Hillary Clinton a crack at the presidency.
John
That is
Krasinski, I think, was in that. Yeah.
Yeah, John Krasinski's in it. But it's the story of Benghazi. It's how we got the people that survived out of there, and we didn't even do it. It was contractors that did it, folks. It was ex-military guys that did it
Of their own volition.
Yes, they knew what was coming down, and they said, "Fuck it, we got to go," because those people are not going to make it.
Yep.
And yeah, it's very heroic movie. It's a movie that will piss you off too. Let me tell you. Shit.
Politics.
I mean, hell, didn't the Iraqis get them to the airport? Or not the Iraqis, but the Libyans didn't. It was the Libyans that got them to the airport. I think
so. They were hung out to dry. Yep.
Yeah, they were. They were just left out. But anyway, we'll talk about that on Monday on Pop Culture Minefields channel, 10 a.m. Central Time on Monday. So, for myself and Matt from Small Time Republic, I want to thank you for being here. And by the way, I'm not going to throw Matt up there because he's not a YouTuber, guys. He just likes to be part of the conversation. But you see his handle right there at the bottom of his description there. It's that's his handle on Twitter, so follow him over there. So until we see you guys again, I want you guys to keep on keeping on. God bless.